The thought experiment we have just done is the famous veil of ignorance used by the philosopher John Rawls to arrive at his two basic principles of justice. The first principle is that of equality. There should be equal treatment before the law and equality of opportunity for all. This principle is enshrined in most constitutions and agreements, so it's perhaps surprising how much inequality there is in the world. For example, who you are, not what you can do, can determine how much power and influence you have. Royal families are an example of this. The simple fact of having a king as a father or a queen as a mother entitles you to be a monarch yourself, even though you might not possess skills to rule. The second principle takes inequality into account. Setting aside the who you are type of inequality, we all know that some people are stronger or more able than others. If, under a system of equal opportunity, what you do gives success, then these people will have more wealth and influence. Rawls uses the second principle to create balance. He says that if there is inequality, then benefits should run to the least advantaged. The strong should help the weak, and the rich should help the poor. Again, we see this principle reflected in many systems of governance. For example, rich people pay taxes, which are then used to provide education, healthcare and support for poorer people. Wealthier nations provide aid to poorer nations. The second principle can be controversial. In 1997, the United States of America refused to sign the Kyoto Protocol, which was designed to reduce release of greenhouse gases that cause global climate change, because it contained the principle of differentiated responsibility, under which the developed countries had to reduce their emissions, but developing countries did not. This principle still remains a major sticking point in the current Climate Change Convention negotiations, holding up agreement on how to slow down the ever-increasing concentrations of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere of our own very real planet. In summary, we've together arrived at the two fundamental principles of justice. The first one is equality. The second, more controversial principle is that if there is inequality, then the benefits should run to the least advantaged.